Well, hi YouTubers, okay, I'm back with the Physics 5100 books and Rude Awakenings of a Jane Austen Addict by Laurie, Viera, Rigler. Now, I read this book's companion book about 3-4 years ago, and I absolutely loved it, and I didn't realise that it had a companion until quite recently. So, I'm going to read Confessions of a Jane Austen Addict, and then I'm going to talk about Rude Awakenings. This is Confessions. Smart, sassy and suddenly single Courtney Stone is a typical modern LA girl. That is, until she wakes up one morning in Regency, England in the body of Jane Mansfield. At first she thinks she must be dreaming. Maybe she's read all of Jane Austen's books a few too many times. But as time goes on, there's a lot she needs to get to grips with. A new accent, a new body, a wicked new mother. Most excitingly, a new man in her life. The dashing, dishy Charles Edward. But is he a Darcy, a Wickham, or merely a confusing distraction? As Courtney trips through the social minefield of life in Jane Austen, England, she wonders, will she ever get back to 21st century West Coast life back? Will she ever get her 21st century West Coast life back? And does she even want to? So, Courtney Stone was kind of like transported into the life and body of Jane Mansfield in Regency, England, okay? Jane Mansfield was transported from Regency, England into the body of Courtney Stone. Now, how to explain is kind of vaguish. It's kind of like carnivals and kind of like mysticism and psychics here, but I'm not going to talk about how it happened, okay? It's not a spoiler here. I'm going to talk about the fact that it did happen, and it's quite nice seeing, after reading Courtney in Jane's body, reading Jane as in Courtney's. She has to get to grips with everything. Now, the thing is, I'm going to read a blurb of from Jane Mansfield. Jane Mansfield, a gentleman's daughter in 1813 England, has long wished to escape a life in which career choices are limited to wife or maiden aunt. But awakening one morning in 21st century Los Angeles, in the body of someone called Courtney Stone, not exactly what she had in mind. Jane must get to grips with a world in which everyone thinks she is Courtney Stone. A disney world of horses, metal carriages, unrestricted clothing, tiny apartments, manners of flirting, and unheard of liberties for womankind. The only thing Jane appears to have in common with Courtney is a love for the novels of Jane Austen. But are the wise words of her favourite novelist enough to guide her through this bewildered new world? Or what is she to make of Courtney's attractive friend Wes, who is as attractive and confusing as the man who broke her heart at home? As Courtney's romantic entanglements become her own, Jane wonders, will she actually be better off in Regency, England? And will she ever be able to return? Now, I read this pretty much knowing the ending, but it didn't matter. Now, the thing is, I've read a lot of Jane Austen. I studied her at uni. I absolutely love her books as well. I've seen virtually all the films. And the thing is, if I was transported back into Regency, England, I would have a fair grasp of what to expect, having read so much about the Regency time. But for a woman from the Regency period to be transported into the 21st century, incredible. One thing I absolutely adore about this is you have Jane in Courtney's body with her American accent, but speaking Regency English. And the fact is, it carries on throughout the entire book. Oh, this bit here. This bit here. This is chapter 2, okay? This bit. The woman in the glass is no one whom I recognise. I watched the reflection in the glass as I reached up and touched the pale yellow hair, striped with light brown that falls to my shoulders. Feel the silky texture of it as the woman in the mirror does the same. I touched the round thighs of the short but shapely legs, which are completely bare, and the reflection mirrors my movements. I regard my chest and torso, which are covered by a thinly woven short sleeve shift, whose hem touches the top of my thighs. I've never stepped in such a garment before. Quite immodest, I smart the thought of what my mother would say if she saw me. Fingering the hem, I catch sight of the small shapely feet tipped with azure blue nails, and my knees nearly give way. Exactly. This carries from the entire book. Jane has to navigate. She has to navigate the 21st century, a world where, as women, we take our rights and privilege really for granted now. After there's so much sacrifice and historical struggle to get them, okay? She has to navigate dating and flirting and driving and also taking responsibility for her life. She doesn't really realise this. As a gentleman's daughter, freedom brings consequences. Now she's in the 21st century. She has to take responsibility for her life. And it's beautiful and conflicting and confusing. And there is a love triangle between Frank, her ex, okay, and Wes, her really, really good friend. And no spoilers here, but this is a really, really clever book. And one thing I absolutely love is that Laurie, Viera Rigler, has really, really done her research on Austen. Oh, not Austen. She's done her research on the Regency period. Courtney feels at all times, so Jane in Courtney's body feels at all times that she actually is a gentleman's daughter in the strange new world. It's absolutely incredible that that it carries through. At no point does it feel like parody, which it would have been so easy to slip into. Now there's a bit. Let me just here, okay. Is it talking about how women's rights have evolved, okay? Yet can a woman who earns her own bread and is driven to her place of employment, who is attended by a pretty and engaging servant in a car, which is clearly superior to that driven by Paula or Deepa, friends of hers, can truly be considered poor? Can a woman who has such an abundance of garments, who keeps her own carriage, who commands the use of rooms, not merely a room of her own, be anything but rich? Maybe not rich in landed freehold property, such as befits the owner of Mansfield House, nor rich in the manner of Edgeworth, who has 2 estates and a house in town, but rich as an unmarried woman might be rich in independence and voluntary solitude and self-will, rich in determination to discover what riches await me in this wondrous and mysterious adventure called work. Oh, that was interesting, the whole work thing. At no point does it slip out from that. And one thing I absolutely love is that Courtney has such really, really good, Jane now has such really, really good friends that they are actually aside for all this, okay? They really, really are. A lot of things I would love to have seen, like her actually meeting her mother, well, Courtney's mother. But the way it's done is so brilliantly done. I just had to think, well, this should so be a film. It should so be a film. And this bit here I absolutely loved as well. Just to juxtapose the mentality of the, you know, the 19th century to the 21st, okay? Now I am able to keep my seat in Paula's car without having to grip anyone's arm. I am at leisure to observe the world passing out by at an astonishing pace. There are men, women and children of a variety of complexions going about their business. A few walking in and out of shops, most riding in cars, laughing, frowning, talking silent. They are brown and white and black, they are Asian and European and even African, all apparently in a state of perfect freedom and anonymity. I thought this must be when I saw a couple of African aides at Dr. Menzinger's establishment, but now I know that slavery itself, and not just a trade, is finally at an end. This is the most delightful aspect to the world in which I find myself. Exactly. Absolutely beautiful. And the thing is though, as Uncle Corner Jane, as Jane is trying to find her feet in Courtney's body, it's amazing how when she takes the steps to be independent, that people are kind of looking down their nose at her as well. Now, due to kind of something going on, she loses her job. She gets another one in a coffee shop. I'm sorry I'm spoiling this, but that's all I'm really going to spoil. And everyone looks down her nose at that. The fact she's gone from like an administrator to a coffee shop. But I liked how she sums this up. The job is no means the highest of situations, to be sure, but I am anything but servile. In fact, I am tolerant, no disrespect, for it shall instruct me not to serve the rare person who might be abusive. As I class in my situation with that of a servant, the very notion is an insult to never-ending drudgery in which a lot of the servant who must live with his master's family earns but a fraction of my pay. Often labours more than 16 hours per day and exists behind an impenetrable barrier of class. A barrier I crossed to my enduring regret when I kissed James in a moment of grief and madness. Oh, sorry, I was supposed something else there. Exactly. She's becoming independent, but she's kind of doing it on her own terms. And it's absolutely beautiful to read a book where the character just remains the same. And I absolutely loved it. No, I generally loved this book. Laurie Viera Rigler wrote something really, really special here. This actually came out several years ago, but if you're a fan of Jane Austen, or a fan of Regency England, or a fan of even time travel stories, because this is pretty much what it is, I recommend Real Confessions of a Jane Austen Addict and Confessions of a Jane Austen Addict. You will not be disappointed with these books. So you'll finish this book smiling, because I certainly did. So here we go. Recommended this book, partner Physics 5100, and now I'm signing off here. Goodbye.